Bob Barkley, though, was the reason I stayed in dentistry. I was a sophomore dental student. I was rather discouraged from what I was seeing in dental school. And I know many of your educators here. And I would tell you that in our courses in Austin that are 3 days long in emotional intelligence, we've had over a dozen dental educators come and say, man, we ought to be teaching this in every dental school. Bob Barkley turned me on to this when he talked about emotions. And I'm going to show you a short clip of Bob. I'm curious, how many in the room have actually heard Bob Barkley, a dentist from Macomb, Illinois, who spoke to more dentists than anyone in the history of dentistry until Gordon Christensen? He died tragically in an airplane crash in 1977. Robert McClellan, who is the pioneer in this work when he was charged by the State Department to look at the State Department's diplomats during the 1970s when we were in Vietnam, and they found that the higher the intelligence, the better they were at communication in terms of various languages that they had at their command and various professional backgrounds. They weren't that good at diplomats in the field, but there was another group of diplomats that were doing very, very well. State Department comes to McClellan and says, can you tell us the difference? He said, good, give me 25 of your highest qualified diplomats, give me 25 of those who are the best in the field. And they began to study this thing called emotional intelligence. We'll talk about that, and I'll show you some of their research. Daniel Goleman is who popularized this work. John Bradshaw helped me understand. He's a psychologist from Texas. He helped me understand what goes on in my early life affects my ability to deal with emotions. And then finally, Bill Woodburn, who is a master counselor who teaches the courses with us in Austin. I want to show you Bob Barkley.
You see, when I went out in practice, I was already beyond their expectations. And then I started studying. And the more I studied, the farther I got from their expectations. And I was talking about restorative dentistry and equilibrations and all these kinds of things, you know. I got to where I could find a couple $1,000s worth of things wrong with people. And I was kind of amazed by that. But the more you know how to do, the more things you find wrong. You can't diagnose the things you don't know how to do. Hell, you look right past them. And you will unconsciously treat people with the things you do well, and you'll duck the things that you don't feel good about. You'll cop out. I got to where I could find, you know, all kinds of things wrong. It did one day, one of my old high school cheerleaders came over, you know, and it wasn't just one of the old high school cheerleaders. It was the old high school cheerleader, not the one I dated. I never had the guts to ask this one for a date, but oh, I did think about it a lot. Night and day. You know, across the study hall like that, you know. She was 25 years old, just had her 4th baby. What do you think she wanted me to do? She wanted me to pull one of her teeth. I thought, oh, for God's sake. You know, I've worshipped her for a decade. She wants me to pull her tooth. I said, I want to pull your tooth. You know, you keep that up, someday you won't have any teeth. She said, that's the way it is in our family. I said, oh, you know, the thought of her without teeth was just chilling to me. She said, that's the way it is. My mom's got false teeth, my dad's got false teeth, my brothers have got false teeth. Her probable future, as she saw it, false teeth. I said, you don't have to be that way. She said, well, I've lost a tooth with every one of my babies. I've lost 3 teeth, and this is the 4th one. I said, oh, you don't lose teeth with babies? She says, I do. They take the calcium out of my teeth, make their bones. I said, oh, hell, all 32 teeth wouldn't make one leg. Isn't that logical? You know? But only dentists and dental students would try to overcome emotion with logic. And you're going to do it, and your classmates in the clinic are going to do it, and they're going to be trying their damnedest in this program to get you to quit, to face emotion squarely and deal emotionally with people. And it's more risky, but it's a lot more fun. And you find out where people are in their head, and you can help them in their head. Clement Stone, you know, is a great philanthropist. Rich man. And people said, how did you get rich? And he said, it's very simple. You just find out what people want and help them get it. And you have a very rich practice if you can help people find out what they really want, not what they think they want, what they really want, and help them get it. And have a hell of a lot of fun in the process, but you can't do it examining and diagnosing and completing now, this year. And that's what you're being trained to do, to examine, diagnose, and score a bullseye on a stranger.
Bob affected me greatly. He helped me understand that I had to have the technical expertise on the shelf, but not unlike a coaching client who called me a few years ago and said, "Bob, I need your help. I'm overtrained and underscheduled." That I had to understand where people were coming from emotionally.